Today on Manor and Maker, we're looking for your help solving a problem out front. Plus, we're getting on with making some curtains. And we take a lovely tour of Bordeaux thanks to Sofiane's family.
One problem that we know we have with the chateau, since we moved in, we've been worrying about it. The stones out in front of the house are crumbling, unfortunately. We're getting a lot of sections that are just chipping away and falling apart. So it's going to be a bit of a danger. So we've decided we're going to try and take them up as much as we can. And we'll have to find a new solution, whether it's doing gravel all the way up or, relaying stone or something. But I think the first thing first, we got to get rid of a lot of these stones because it's going to be a hazard. It's a tripping hazard to begin with. And it just doesn't look very nice. And it's right at the entrance of the house. So here we go. If we were still in Canada, I would have assumed that this is actually due to ice getting in through the rocks and expanding in the wintertime. But we don't really get those kind of temperatures and ice as we did in Canada, so I'm not quite sure why this stuff is eroding. It might have to do with the fact that the temperatures have been dropping a little bit during the winter here. And it's just the cold and the frost getting in underneath and cracking them, but I don't know. But we have to find a solution anyway. You can see that most of it is just coming up by hand. I don't even need to use tools to get rid of it. That's not a good sign. I don't know what we're gonna have to do to replace it, or whether we're gonna actually have to get something to chip it all out with, but we'll see. So there you can see the holes that are left by the broken pieces. We're gonna have to definitely fill it in with something. The interesting part is the mortar in between the stones that were laid seems to be the strongest bits. They're holding strong. You can actually see the shape of the stone that was sitting in that area. So yeah, it's going to be an ongoing problem. We're going to have to find a solution. Anybody has some suggestions, by all means leave them in the comments. Thank you. So I've got the power washer out again, and this time for the stairs and the front. As I showed before, there was a lot of chipping and stuff going on. So what I've decided to do is give it a good power wash, and then I'll clean up all of the stuff that was left behind. But this way at least we can see where the problem is and hopefully deal with it in a little more efficient way. Plus the stairs themselves needed a little bit of a scrub down. They were getting a bit dirty. And I think when this dries out, it'll be a nice gleaming white, similar to the ones on the terrace side of the house. Here's hoping. It may not look pretty yet, but it is just drying now. And I think with a good brush over and a bit of tidy up to get rid of more of that loose stuff. And then we got to figure out how to patch the holes or make it a little more level. But it's getting there. It's starting to look better anyway.
Just having a go at hanging up these curtains so that I can get the length measured correctly. So I put the tape on and I measured out the previous hooks that were on the last set of curtains and put them out spaced well. And now I am just gonna give these strings here a pull, if I can get a hold of them while holding the phone, which I rarely can, and we'll give those a pull, and that should hopefully condense that down to half the width of the window, and then we'll hang them and see how we do. It's pretty hard to get action shots for you guys because really I need two hands to do this, because one to actually pull the string and the other one to inch the little gathers along. So sorry, kind of hard to get the action shots as I'm doing this. Then the final step is just to kind of work the gathers along so that they come up fairly evenly. Oh, you're not playing nice. Play nice. Because you don't want kind of big bulges like this. You want really each of the gathers to be kind of neat and tidy-ish so that they're fairly even along here. There shouldn't be big flat spots, so we'll just kind of try to work that along a little bit. There's a lot of working along, and it's easier with two hands, I'm not going to lie. Anyways, I will do that and try to get those. It's looking better up this end, so we'll try to get the far end looking like that end, and then we'll give it a hang. I'm doing mitered corners on these curtains, so I have basically formed a triangle in the corner, stitched across there. That's my 45. It'll all make sense once I turn this inside out and trim off this extra. It'll make a nice little angled corner that hopefully will sit fairly flat. I trimmed off the corner bit, and then I trimmed the little corner here so that it'll sit flat on the inside without that extra little bulk of material. I don't know if there was an Arthurian knight who sewed, but if there were, I would be Sir Press-a-Lot. Because, man, I press everything, befores and afters, and yeah, the iron is my favorite sewing tool, maybe, possibly. That turned out fairly tidily, I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, wait, better press it again, just to make sure. Maybe some steam, yeah, extra. Very nice and tidy little corner, I'm pleased. We are in the petite chambre, and the curtains are done, I think.
Yeah, they look amazing.
Steve is going to get up on the ladder for me because ongoing history of me and ladders. But hopefully this will work. Let me pass them up to you. Or you're taking the tip. Someone left a great tip in the comments last week. Or not last week, the last time we did curtains. But hanging them over your shoulder when you got the ladder. Oh, that's safe.
This ladder almost scares me a little.
You alright? Can I let go of the weight? Or...
Yep.
Okay.
That did not work.
I was gonna say that doesn't like the most effective. Let me maybe hold on to them on this side a little bit. Okay, I got some.
All right.
Hopefully I put two hooks on the end there this time. Did I?
There we go.
Okay. see. And
They're hanging very nicely.
they're hanging very nicely. Somehow they ended up about an inch shorter than I wanted them to be.
I think they're perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Look how beautiful that looks.
Well, it's an improvement over what was there, that's for sure. We'll let them hang for, 96 hours to try to get the creases to stick. I might fiddle with them a little bit more. I'm not entirely satisfied with what's going on at the top, but that will eventually be covered by a pelmet, so I think it's an improvement.
The fabric is lovely too.
Yeah.
It's got some lovely detail in it, some very nice colors. Subtle, which is nice, because we're kind of looking at this room as being a little more precious, I think was the word we were using.
Yeah.
Because it's the smallest of the bedrooms. It certainly has a softer, warmer feel to it.
Hey everyone, we have come to Bordeaux for the day. And what we're doing is we are trying a site called touristscavengerhunt.com, and basically there's a bit of a, not quite a chase because it's really at your own pace, but it's just a path to follow around Bordeaux to discover some small things, and we'll figure that out as we go. So the starting point is behind the Mairie, which is behind me, which is the Palais de Rohan. And our first task was to find 3 little sculptures that are metallic in the garden, but today the garden is closed for, it looks like, a couple of weddings, because we saw one coming in on the other side, and there's clearly one already in progress, or they're taking their photos out here. So we can't quite go in the garden today, but we did spot the sculptures and took a little photo of those, and then we'll carry on from here and see what our next step is. All right, we're not going to show you every step of the scavenger hunt because I know you'll want to do this yourself. The next stop was in front of the Galerie des Beaux-Arts, which is across from the Musée des Beaux-Arts, and it talks a little bit about the history of the building, which was opened in 1939, and the connection with the Plantagenets, which were a ruling aristocratic family for a long time. The one little detail that we noticed on the tour that isn't part of the scavenger hunt yet, that we know of, is that this is part of the Saint-Jacques de Compostela route, which also passes not far from our home. So that's really cool. Basically, it's a big pilgrimage route that runs all the way through France. So that's cool.
I have seen a few shells in the sidewalks.
Ah, okay. Well, that'll explain that, because that's the sign.
Yeah.
We are in front of the Court of Appeals, which is one of the stops on the scavenger hunt, and there's a little message above there to decode, which is kind of a fun task on the scavenger hunt. And we're going to leave you here for today, let you guys discover the rest of this hunt on your own. Just a little note, so it's touristscavengerhunt.com, and it's Sofiane's family that puts these together. So please go check it out and support their little adventures.
Yeah, it's good fun. I had a good time. It's a great way to explore a new city too.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of fun little spots to point out. Notice details.
Awesome.